Ambassador Carix of the Velthani Concordat stood before the Galactic Council, his crystalline form shimmering with what could only be described as contempt. The holographic displays around the circular chamber showed humanity's latest petition, and Carix made no effort to hide his disdain. These, primitives from Sol 3 request trade routes through Sector 7? His voice resonated like breaking glass. A species that evolved on a death world, barely 3 centuries into space travel, and they believe themselves our equals? Laughter rippled through the assembly. The council chamber, carved from a hollowed asteroid and adorned with the banners of 300 civilized species, had never seen such audacity. Earth's representative, Commander Sarah Chen, stood rigid in the petitioner's circle, her dark eyes betraying nothing as the mockery continued. Their planet rotates so fast it creates massive weather systems, added Counselor Threx, his tentacles writhing with amusement. They breathe a corrosive gas mixture that would kill most species in minutes. And their gravity, he made a gesture of disbelief. It's a wonder they can even stand upright. Sarah had heard it all before. Every species in the galaxy seemed to take particular pleasure in reminding humans of their origins. Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world, one of the most hostile environments known to harbor intelligent life. That humans had not only survived but thrived, there was seen not as impressive but as evidence of their primitive brutality. The answer is no, Carix declared. Sector 7 is reserved for civilized species. Perhaps in another 1,000 years, when your kind has learned proper decorum and shed your violent nature, we might reconsider. The council chambers echoed with approval. Sarah bowed as protocol demanded and turned to leave. But as she walked toward the exit, she activated her personal communicator with a single, deliberate tap. Admiral Morrison, she said quietly, execute Protocol Omega. 3 light-years away, the human fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They came in silence, a armada that had been building in the darkness beyond Pluto for 5 years. 200 warships, each one designed with the brutal efficiency that only Deathworlders could appreciate. No elegant curves or artistic flourishes like the Velthani preferred. These were weapons, pure and simple, built by a species that understood violence on an instinctual level. Admiral James Morrison sat in the command chair of the UESS Indomitable, watching the tactical displays light up with target locks. His jaw was set, his weathered face showing the weight of the decision before him. All ships report ready, sir, his XO announced. Open a channel, galaxy-wide broadcast. Every screen in civilized space suddenly displayed a human face. For many species, it was the first time they truly looked at one. Morrison's gray eyes seemed to stare into each viewer's soul. People of the galaxy, he began, his voice steady. For 15 years, humanity has petitioned for basic rights. Trade access, safe passage, recognition as a sovereign species. For 15 years, we have been mocked, dismissed, and degraded. You call us primitives, barbarians, Deathworlders, as if the world that forged us is something to be ashamed of. He leaned forward. You forgot what it means to be forged by adversity. Your species evolved on garden worlds where resources were abundant and predators scarce. You never had to fight hurricanes that could level cities. You never had to survive ice ages or meteor impacts. You never had to compete with apex predators or deadly diseases. Your entire civilization has grown soft, comfortable, and arrogant. The tactical display showed Velthani defense fleets scrambling. Too late. We asked for peace. You gave us contempt. We asked for trade. You gave us restrictions. We asked for respect. You gave us laughter. Morrison's voice hardened. We're done asking. The human fleet struck with precision that shocked the galaxy. They didn't target civilians or planets. They struck every Velthani military installation in Sector 7 simultaneously. Orbital defense platforms that had stood for centuries were reduced to debris in minutes. Patrol fleets that had never seen real combat were overwhelmed by tactics and aggression that no simulation had prepared them for. Humans fought like their world had taught them, with ruthless efficiency, adaptability, and an understanding of violence that came from millions of years of survival. While other species had evolved in relative safety, humanity's ancestors had clawed their way to the top of Earth's food chain. Every instinct, every reflex, every strategic doctrine had been written in blood over countless generations. The battle for Sector 7 lasted 6 hours. When it was over, humanity controlled every major jump point and resource station. Not a single human ship was lost. Velthani casualties were surprisingly light. because humans had learned something else on their death world. Mercy could be strategic. Carrick's hologram appeared before Morrison, the ambassador's crystalline form flickering with what sensors identified as fear. This is an act of war. The council will do nothing, Morrison interrupted. Because you're going to tell them what happened here. You're going to tell them that the primitives from the death world defeated your finest fleet, without breaking a sweat. You're going to tell them that we could have glassed your colonies, but we didn't. And you're going to recommend that Earth be granted full council membership with voting rights. You cannot possibly. We can, we did, and we'll do it again if necessary. Morrison's expression softened slightly. We don't want to be your enemies, Carrick's, we never did. But we're done being your victims. The choice is yours. Accept us as equals or learn what it really means to fight a species from a death world. The channel closed. Within a week, Earth received its council seat. Within a month, trade routes opened. Within a year, 36 species had requested human military advisors and defense contracts. The galaxy had learned a lesson that Earth had taught itself millions of years ago. Respect isn't given to the civilized or the ancient. It's earned by those strong enough to demand it, and wise enough to use that strength judiciously. The age of human deference was over. The age of human influence had begun. And somewhere in the council chambers, Ambassador Carrick looked at Earth's new seat and realized that the galaxy had just changed forever. The Deathworlders had arrived and nothing would ever be the same.